believe in like converting or changing somebody. I think that everybody should go into every dating experience with having their very high standards but low expectations.
Hi, and welcome to the Kelly Lundberg podcast. I'm your host, business mentor, personal brand and style expert, who is on a personal mission to inspire a minimum of 5 people daily to take action, do something different, and show up as the best person that they aspire to be. Breaking news, have you seen our new website, brandnewcreators.com, showcasing some of our incredible clients and their results, which includes today's guest, Christiana Maxion. Now, Christiana is a native New Yorker who is rewriting the dating-verse blueprint. I've so enjoyed working with Christiana. She is just proof of hard work, commitment, and determination, and you can really achieve anything. Seeing her personal brand and business grow in the last 12 months, not even that, it's probably even about the last 8 months, has been incredible. So in this episode, we talk about dating in general and dating in Dubai and the wins and the pitfalls that you need to watch out for. She's already had so many success stories as a top-tier Dubai matchmaker and knows how complicated dating in the 2020s can be. From dating apps to speed dating to ghosting, she helps clients feel confident and gain direction in dating post-divorce by cracking the compatibility code and from her Taken to Single coaching program. She also has a podcast called Dating in Dubai, and I was a guest on this recently where I shared some of my dating in Dubai experiences. So you can check out that. But let's hear what she has to say about building her personal brand and business and dating in Dubai. Welcome to the show, Christiana. It's great to have you. And in this new surrounding.
Yes!
We're currently in the Foundry in downtown Dubai. It's actually, what would you call this area? Like a co-working space?
Yes, it's a co-working space. It's also a gallery. They have a cafe. They have the podcast room. It's a really cool, funky place downtown where people can come work, but then also like kind of, quote unquote, be immersed by the arts.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really nice space. So we were actually today recording for each other's podcast.
Yes.
So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about dating because it's coming up for Valentine's Day.
Lovely.
But not that you need to be thinking about just dating around Valentine's Day, because if you're listening to this after Valentine's Day, it's still super relevant. But maybe let's take a few steps back, tell people how you got into this space that you're in now, and just give us a bit of a backstory.
So originally, I have a degree in finance, but then I went into education, and I used to work in education here. I started as a teacher, then I progressed to be a published author, then a mentor for teachers and curriculum coordinator, consultant in education. And during COVID, as you know, we all were in lockdown. And I actually found the whole pursuit of dating via Zoom dates quite ridiculous and very, very funny. So I ended up starting a comedic Instagram account called Dating in Dubai. And then people were asking me a lot of dating advice.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm pretty practical. I fancy myself to be. I'm pretty black and white.
I will vouch for that because we work together, and you are very much, you get on once you've decided, you go ahead and do something, which I love. You're such an action taker.
Thank you. And basically from that, giving the dating advice, I've always also had like a knack for matching people, just naturally like friends and things like this. So I actually entered the whole dating space. And with that, I am a top tier matchmaker here in Dubai. But my number one goal, and we're talking about this before in like 2022, I'm actually building my dating coach program, which is targeted towards helping divorced women get back out into the 2020s dating verse. Because especially if you haven't like dated in this kind of era, it's very, very different than what it was pre-marriage.
What are some of the things that are really different apart from apps, which is how I met my boyfriend was on an app actually.
Exactly.
So apps is taking it to a whole new level.
Yes.
What else is different about dating now?
I think that because we're always on our phones, right? And you have the dating app space, but also because of communication and the internet and just everything is so easy in terms of meeting people have sort of become disposable in a way. Like you can meet somebody and only chat for a short time and then be ghosted, right?
I hate that ghosted in business, and I hate when people do that
too, right?
Yeah, I think it's so unprofessional. So unprofessional.
Just say it how it is.
Yeah.
And it's totally cool. Like both you and I are in like coaching states. I know that you're more of a mentor. But with that, it's like, even when somebody reaches out to you for help, and then, oh, listen, I can help you in this way. And then like they don't reach back out. You're just like, it's okay if you don't want to do it. Just say. Like, it's totally cool.
It's like that whole sort of open-ended and relationships and starting to communicate with someone. Yeah. It is okay. So we digress into ghosting.
No, that's
Maybe
okay.
we can go into that. So we're talking about the dating space and, those that are getting back onto the dating scene. So we've got apps, people are maybe not treating each other in the best light, maybe?
Yes, that way. And I also think that if you were, so the reason why I'm helping divorced women is because they're going to be in like a different era of dating. So when I think about dating, even like, 6 years ago, right? Or even like before apps, you would go to a bar, you'd go to some kind of meetup, hang out, somebody would ask you out, and that date would follow through.
Yeah.
Right? Or you knew somebody. Through this person, they connected you through a friend. So there was some kind of like mutual connection there.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like, you are meeting people quite randomly. So then what I was trying to get at before is that people have kind of become disposable because there's so much access and so much options. And what I also think too, that if you have been out of the dating world for a bit, going back into dating can create some kind of like anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
And plus it's complicated.
Yeah.
So let me help you navigate the dating verse.
Why is it so complicated? Or is that a really big answer?
I think that if we're talking specifically Dubai, right? And just think about the access you have and how many people are here and how many people are transient and how many people, like, this isn't like their permanent place of dating. It becomes complicated because if you are not, I don't like to say like looking for a long-term relationship, but if that's one of like your dating goals, I think that it's hard to kind of navigate that space when maybe most people have the thought in their brain that, okay, I'm only here for a short time.
And it's like, and it's not, and I'm not thinking about long term in the future.
Yes.
But then how do you convert that? Can you convert someone that maybe was like, oh, I just wanted short term fun?
I don't believe in like converting or changing somebody. I think that everybody should go into every dating experience with having their very high standards but low expectations. Okay. In terms of going in and not saying, okay, this is going to be my boyfriend, or this is going to be my girlfriend, my husband, my wife. Instead, you go in with your high standards and go, hey, this could actually turn into a friendship, business relationship, a romantic relationship, or maybe nothing, right?
Very true.
Yeah, and I also think that when you're dating and you do have your high standards, it's so important not to waver on them. And I think that a lot of people, maybe because they are in a space and like maybe they're not qualifying their match as best as they can. Yeah. And that's where I come in with like quantifying that. Let's come up with your curated compatibility code. Who is the right person for you? And if you are serious, your dating goal is to be with someone in a long-term relationship, don't waste time in incompatible matches.
Yeah, which just people are, oh yeah, well, it's a bit of company, or it's this, or it's that. But just that point that you mentioned there before about going in with the high standards and the low expectations, and, you know, it's that kind of going with an open mind.
Yes.
I remember going on the date with Graham back in Edinburgh, and it was like, if I had actually thought about it, why am I going on a date with, you know, someone who lives, you know,
in a different country,
4,000 kilometers away or miles away, and, you know, we haven't seen. So I went with this sort of, well, it's someone that I haven't seen for ages. You know, it could just be a nice catch up. You just don't know where it's going to come to. And
yes, and I totally agree with that. You never know what's going to happen. And I also don't like when somebody asks you, like, let's say you do match on an app or whatever, or you're on a date with somebody, and one of the first questions they ask is, oh, so what are you looking for? I really despise that question because, like I said, going in with like the low expectations, it's because you don't want to put them in a box and you don't want to put yourself in a box. Because when you go in with that open mind, you have no idea. You could have the most amazing chemistry with them and just think, oh, I'm just looking for casual fun time. But then you meet them, you go, whoa, this person's special.
But then how do you balance that with the, I'm not here to waste your time?
well,
because there's the fine line with going, okay, I open mind, but then people stay in it for a month, 2 months or whatever. And then when is too long,
I mainly work with women, right? And basically I tell them it's a major, not even a red flag, a deal breaker, run. If a guy tells you up front, I'm just looking for fun, I'm just looking for casual, because this is their exit ticket in the relationship, whether you're together 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 3 years, they can say, I told you I was just looking for fun. I told you I was just looking for casual. Don't fall for it. Don't.
So what are some of the mistakes then, other mistakes that maybe women and men, or men and women are making when they're going out in the dating scene? And I guess we're talking about Dubai specifically.
Yes.
But if those that are listening outside Dubai, maybe this is relevant. So
I think, I think that if you're in any major city, this will be relevant.
Yeah.
I would say advice for the guys, put in the effort, please. Even like little small things, because now the dating bar is set so low. So literally,
it's like, hey, you showed up. Okay,
I know. Oh my God, amazing. So basically, and by effort, I mean, it could simply just be choosing a spot in the neighborhood that the girl lives in.
Okay.
Yep. Or your date, right? We're inclusive here. And I think that shows effort. If the spot, let's say, is far away, like for example, I live downtown. If somebody asked me to go to Blue Waters, I would say no.
Yeah. Okay.
So either you pick a spot that's nearby, especially for a first date. I think that's showing some kind of consideration. Or send me an Uber. I know that sounds like really cheeky, but I'm sorry.
Okay, so these are things that, in terms of like standards, that it's not just about showing up or being nice or this, it's making that effort. And for girls, if they're going to make a bit of effort, because I think that would be weird if a female maybe sent an Uber for a guy.
Oh my gosh. So I would never.
Other way around.
So I would actually recommend to women, listen.
Okay.
I think that on a date, I'm a very traditional person though in dating, and I really think that the man should take the lead. And I read this in a book once, right? And I forget the exact verbiage of it, but the person was speaking on that the woman has the most quote unquote wealth in the relationship when they have the most knowledge about the person, about their date.
Good. Yeah.
And I loved this because I think on a first date, you should be listening to what the guy is saying. And not just like take it at face value, but also listen to the way he says things. Listen to the way he talks about people. Watch the way he treats people. I think that being a good listener and an observer on the date is very important. And also, you don't need to spill your whole guts. Let him work for it.
What are good dating questions? Let's do good dating questions, and then let's do like
not so good.
Yeah. So if you've been guilty of these ones, then don't do it. So let's start with the guilty ones. Like what are
bad ones?
Yeah. Let's start with the bad ones.
Do not ask me about how I find dating in Dubai. That's none of your business.
Okay.
I actually really don't like that question. And like for the most part, when I go on a date with a guy, they figure out what I do for a living because my name is pretty unique. And so they asked me about that. I'm fine with talking about work. I think talking about work is a fine question, especially like if we're going specific to Dubai, the Dubai details, right? Nationality, number of years here, where are you from?
Yeah, there's like these 5 questions. Where are you from? Yeah. How old are you?
Which neighborhood? What do you do? Okay. All of this. Okay. I would say that those questions don't just like, I guess, spit them out right in a row from the beginning. Work them into the conversation in a more natural flow. Because then it becomes like a whole copy paste kind of conversation. I would also say that talking about exes is something that I think is totally inappropriate. You don't need to know about that. You also don't need to know about what I just mentioned before about what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Or so like what my future is. Yeah.
No. Okay.
Exactly.
What are good questions to be asking? So don't do them in order. Where are you from? What do you do? But what else are great conversation?
I think that fun icebreakers work for a conversation.
Okay, give us a couple.
I know this sounds so cheesy, but like you can ask things like, okay, if you were stuck on a deserted island, what are the 3 things you would bring?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just like fun ones like this, because it starts a conversation. It's not too deep, but you get to know the person a little bit. I would even ask like what people's like routines are. Like I don't need to know like 7 a.m., 7:30, 7 this, but more just like, hey, like what did you do last weekend? Because then this gives me insight into what his habits are.
I learned actually, well, having come from other relationships, that it's really important for me that I'm on the same body clock as someone else.
Yes.
So my, one of my exes was a nighttime person. So we never went to bed together. We never woke up at the same time together. Like, we were on completely different times, and it was really tough.
Yeah.
Really, really tough. So finding out if you're on that same, I think, cadence cycle is kind of quite a nice thing to know.
No, I totally agree with that. And one of the things when I do matchmake clients, right, and we come up with their compatibility code, we talk about hobbies and habits, and we build your ideal partner. And part of like the 10 different things that we do, we talk about what hobbies does this person have, but also what kind of habits do they have. And it's interesting when I talk to some women, because I don't accept everybody into my matchmaking program. You have to be ready to be matched. And I get a lot of insight from clients when I talk to them about this. Like when they say something like, oh, well, I wake up every morning at 5 a.m., but my partner, it's fine. He doesn't need to, like this and that. And I'm like, don't waver on that. If you are a 5 a.m. person, you are a 5 a.m. person. Don't stay in bed till 9 a.m. You need to make sure that you value yourself first. Because if you're not valuing yourself first in any relationship, friendship, business, romantic, you're not valuing much, are you?
Oh, it drove me insane. And then he would get really annoyed because I go to my bed at 9 o'clock. 9, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, but I like to get up and go to the gym. And, it was just weird. But on the questions front there,
yes,
really good gift. Yes. Last Christmas, one of my best friends bought for Graham and I 365 questions. Okay. And it was a really good, just really different questions. So the idea was each day that you were supposed to ask each other a question. But because we're in a long distance, and we always have our date calls, so our Saturday's always like our day where we really communicate with each other, and we have a 2 or 3 hour call, and then the rest of the stuff during the week is that kind of just how like you quick. Do it. How you do it and catching up. But the questions that came out were brilliant.
Were they really good? Okay, good.
Oh, so good. And just like things that, from things like, one question was, what have you only told your mum recently that you did when you were younger that you shouldn't have done? Like, stupid things like that you wouldn't ever think about something. Or, what are, apart from the obvious, like, what are you most proud of? Or, so every anniversary that we've had, we now ask each other 5 questions. Like, we go, what was your best kiss in the last 12 months? What was your best this?
Hopefully it's Graham.
I'm looking for more detail.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, you're like, that girl I was in the bar with. But totally. So the questions, so that was a great gift. So I think...
I love this. You know what? I'm going to come up with my own. My own version.
But you could, you could make a box of them. Yeah. And I have seen, I don't know if you follow Aggie and our boyfriend Jacob.
Not yet, but I will.
Well, they do a traveling box. So they're influencers that travel like all over the world. And they've done a box of questions based on just travel.
Okay.
And it's like, best place you've ever been, where's the favorite hotel, this, all of that kind of thing. But you could do your own one for dating.
Yeah, but you know what? That's actually something that I do advise people when they go on dates. Like, talk about like holidays, talk about hobbies, the habits, like the 3 H's that I think make a lot of sense.
I like that, the 3 H's. Are you prepared to share the worst date you've ever been on?
Oh, goodness, yes. Yes, this guy was, I call him Cat Guy.
Oh, Cat Guy. Okay.
So first,
what did he do that was so wrong?
Or
made
gosh,
it so bad?
Yeah. So when I first met him, I think he was like really nervous. Firstly, he didn't look like his photos from the dating app.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I think people do that. And I don't know why, because the whole point of a dating app is to meet in person. So why are you tricking me? You know what I mean? Anyway, he was 10 years younger in the dating apps, looked a lot different, but I'm more personality, so I stayed. But I think he was quite nervous. So he was like yelling at me. I don't think he realized that his volume was very, very high. And we were in like a really like nice restaurant, and I was just like laughing inside, but I was just like, okay, whatever, there's something wrong with this guy. So I started talking really, really soft, right? So that he would like kind of bring down his voice. He did end up like getting a little better. He must have ordered, and Kelly, oh my gosh, I swear, over 15 vodka tonics.
Oh.
teen.
On a first date?
On a first date. And like, listen, he was a bigger guy, but I do not find that attractive whatsoever. And not only that, then he started going into, I hate Dubai. It was just a very negative conversation. And more advice, don't talk negative on your first date. You're there to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And then he was asking me about my ex because he found out who my ex was.
That's weird.
And I don't like that. Do not stalk me. Do not ask me about my ex. And whenever somebody asks me about like my past relationships on a date, I think a good way to like divert that question or divert from answering it is basically to say, oh, I'd rather not talk about him. I'm here to get to know more about you. Tell me more about you, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he wouldn't let it go. And he kept asking me, and then he was telling me how much he loves his cat. He showed me like 10 different photos. And then this guy was also obsessed with tennis and a particular tennis star. He was showing me his eBay account and all of the memorabilia that he's bought from this guy. And then he asked me on the date, what's the worst date you've ever been on? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to be honest. It's this one.
And what did he say to you?
He was like, oh, man, I thought it was getting better. And he just like wouldn't he was not taking the hint. And I was like, I think I'm going to go.
So what would be protocol, if you like, or what's the best way when this is like, you're half an hour in, you're 45 minutes in and you're like, this is not where I want to be. Mm-hmm. Do you just... I would never want to just go to the bathroom and walk away because it's horrible. So what would you do?
Exactly. Because that's also bad dating karma. And I always tell people the number one thing when you go on a date is be kind. Because no matter which city you're in, it's a small dating pool, most likely. And with that, you don't want to get a bad dating rep. You really don't. So I would, if it's really like you can't stick it out for the end of the meal or whatever, then my advice would be just stick it out to the end of the meal if you have to. If you're on your drink, after your drink is done, just like, oh, thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you. Let's get the bill. And I would split it with them. Okay. If it was something that was like really, really horrible, I would just, so that there was no like, you owe me this, owe me that. No, it's fine. Oh, no, let's just split.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I was going to say best date.
Oh, I've had many best dates. But I want to think that the best date I've ever had is yet to come. So I don't
I was going to say, because when I was going to ask best date, you'd be, no, it's that one because I have met the one.
Yeah, I've met a guy, but let me see how it goes first.
Oh, exciting. Watch this space.
Yeah.
So what are you working on in terms of sort of business-wise for this year? What are, I know we've talked from a mentoring perspective and your goals at the end of last year. What are you working towards?
So I have a dating coach program because my matchmaking is quite like a top tier kind of client thing, and it's only for Dubai. So I'm expanding my services to the world, and it's basically targeted for divorced women getting back out into the dating verse. It's called From Single to Taken.
Ooh.
So yeah, go look it up.
Awesome. And how can people find you and chat to you? Because you're pretty, you're on, like I was going to say, you're pretty consistent on social media. You're always sharing reels and you're very authentic. You do your, what is it, the Tinder?
Oh, I do Tinder Tuesdays. And
are they real people? Are they?
Kelly, stop shouting me out here. they are, but I do like try to make it as anonymous as possible.
Which you do, because I know you score
I do, and you have no idea, because I've been becoming more popular. People message me all the time. That's me. That's my friend. That's this. No, so I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to do Tinder Tuesday.
Yeah, because I just can't. But I've just found it like I look at it going, people actually have that as their profile picture.
Yes. Kelly, this is the realness. This is why people need me. Let me help you navigate.
Like their personal brand
off.
Yeah, totally. Which is, it's quite interesting. So there's another space to add in there. So sorry, I was saying, so how can people find you?
Yes, so you can find me on all socials at Christiana.Maxion. That's ChristianaMaxion and ChristianaMaxion.com for all of your matchmaking and dating coach solutions.
Love it. Well, I have so enjoyed watching your journey.
Yes, and thank you, Kelly.
Oh, you're welcome.
Kelly was my very, very first mentor. And the thing is, I started out just like, talking about Dubai, and then I found my niche, and I do have to thank Kelly for that 100%.
Love it. And just seeing your journey from where You've gone
Yes.
from, what was it? It was even just
So
June.
Dubai Daily in June, and then
Your Instagram
yes.
has exploded.
Thank you.
And just from your personal brand, your clarity to
definitely
the
clarity.
next level of clarity. Because we got clarity about the dating scene, we got this, and it's just evolved. And now your next level with working with specifically divorced women. I just love seeing it. love it.
Well, thank you.
Wishing you every success, and stay tuned and check out Christiana and what's going on.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you so much for being here and listening to this episode today. I'd love to know what inspired you the most. Was there something that was said? Was there a real takeaway that you're like, do you know what? I'm actually going to go away and implement this. Then if there is, head over to Instagram because I hang out there and I really want to hear what it is you say. Come and leave me a DM. Tell me the best part, or even better, share it with a friend and inspire them too. We are growing weekly and it's all down to you. Thank you so much in advance. Reviewer of the week actually left this message and it made me so happy. Awesome podcast. Every episode gives me an insight into how I can grow my business brand and manage my life around this. Can't wait for the next episode. That was from DKUB2387. So they mean so much. If you haven't left a review yet, then please do head on over to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. And don't forget, be inspired and keep following your dreams. Until next time, bye for now.